On today's episode of The Unwritten Rule, we have got a Mizzou SEC tournament talk for you guys. We recap the Mississippi State game from last night, mostly talked Florida and what we're kind of expecting for Mizzou with Mark Mitchell out potentially for that game and just how that might go if Mizzou can pull another upset over the Gators. Payton and I broke it down. We were live. We're here in Nashville for the tournament, so we've been enjoying the hoops vibes. So we had a nice in-person show for you guys, recapping the Mississippi State game, talking Florida as well. And we will do a recap, some sort of recap. We'll figure something out if Mizzou beats Florida. Otherwise, we'll just have our usual Monday show. We'll do Selection Sunday reaction, talk Mizzou's tournament destination and opponent, if indeed Florida is the last game they play here in Nashville. So that's kind of the schedule going forward. Like I said, we'll have a recap if they do beat Florida. If they don't, we'll just go with the normal show routine, have a show on Monday, talking Selection Sunday, Mizzou's spot in the NCAA tournament. But yeah, enjoy the show. We then did quick hits. Kenny jumped on for that. So quick hits as per usual. Had some good discourse. Talked to Sophie Cunningham on the Fever, some NFL stuff, Nick Bolton getting re-signed, all that fun stuff. So great show for you guys. We're live in Nashville enjoying the SEC tournament. So hopefully we bring a couple more shows because that means Mizzou is winning games. But enjoy this one. We'll dive right into it. The Unwritten Rule starts right now.
Marcel, where are you going with that disc? You are not putting that on again. Marcel, okay, if you press that button, you are in very, very big trouble.
Attention. Everybody stop what you're doing. It's time for The Unwritten Rule, a Mizzou sports podcast brought to you by the Believe Network, alongside Payton Haverman and Kenny Van Doren. Here is your host, Jack Knowlton.
Welcome back to The Unwritten Rule. Today is Friday, March 14th. And yes, we have a kind of in-person show. Kenny's not here. He declined our invites. Frequent invitations to join us. We are in Nashville. Payton and I are at the SEC tournament. Kenny decided he didn't want to come. He's too cool for us. Don't let what he says in quick hits fool you. This is the narrative, and it's the right narrative. Payton and I are in person, which is very fun. We are in Nashville. Came up for Mizzou's first round game in the SEC. I guess technically it's the second round. Yeah, game in the SEC tournament against Mississippi State. That obviously wrapped up Thursday night. We're recording this kind of early Friday afternoon, so it'll also be a de facto little preview for Florida in the quarterfinals for Mizzou. But Payton, first of all, how stoked were you to be in Nashville for this? And obviously Mizzou got the win. It was kind of a clunky game at times, but beating Mississippi State, a team also trending very down, and at least you get a crack at Florida here. You got kind of that one hopefully expected win that you were looking for in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, obviously cool to be down at the tournament in general, especially after the games we saw Thursday. But more importantly, I mean, Missouri finally got just kind of that weight lifted off of them. They got the losing streak off their mind before the NCAA tournament, which I think is pretty big. I thought the defense, for a lot of it, honestly looked better than I think it had been shown. They held Mississippi State to 73, and at times there were a few open shots, but held Josh Hubbard to 3 of 14 from deep, 8 for 22 from the field in general. I don't think they did that good against him. Just did that well to keep him in check before, just from that first blowout game. But like you said, it was very clunky. At times, Missouri had some awkward moments. Caleb Grill played pretty bad. There's kind of no way around it.
2 of 11 from the field.
Yeah, 1 of 8 from deep after he just totally ripped Mississippi State to shreds before. But Jacob Cruz, I couldn't believe. And look, the big headline really is that Mark Mitchell tweaked his knee. Yeah. So that kind of changed the rotations up. But man, there was a lot of Jacob Cruz in this game. That's for sure. I knew where Jacob Cruz was on the floor at all times. That's for sure. And that's not really a positive thing. 2 guys I think that we just kind of got to shout out, Tony Perkins and Aiden Shaw. I mean, I think that was a big thing I saw from like a lot of the post game quotes was like that Missouri always Brett talks about how they're 18 strong, anyone can play at any moment. We really haven't had to see kind of that kind of depth tested, but we did yesterday. Aiden Shaw had to play, and he played damn well.
Yeah.
I was pretty impressed with Aiden Shaw.
Big minutes.
And Tony Perkins definitely deserves a shout out as well. 6 for 10 from him from the floor. Just did a great job just kind of bullying his way around in the paint. I was very impressed, but maybe the most important performance for me was Tamar Bates. Tamar Bates had really, really kind of been just not what he has been at times the last few games, just throughout the last couple weeks. 8 for 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from deep. It is so important for him to get shots to fall early. He's just a completely different player. I thought he stepped up big time for them. Very necessary win, more than anything else. It's a good win. I think they can feel good about it. Are they going to beat Florida? Probably not. We'll get into that more. But this was a pretty necessary win, just very much needed.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it all up. I loved what I saw from Aiden Shaw. I mean, it's only 3 points and 4 rebounds, but yeah, all of them felt pretty big. I mean, they at times were kind of, I felt like getting sort of not dogged on the glass, but a little bit dogged in the paint. Who was it? Murphy for Mississippi State was absolutely having his way at 18 and 8 in this game. But I thought, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Tony Perkins, really impressive stat line. 20 points, only took 1 3, 8 of 8 from the line, seven rebounds, 4 assists. Just a very like that. I feel like that's kind of peak Tony Perkins, Apex Mountain Tony Perkins is that kind of performance. And then like, hopefully his floor is kind of like maybe 10 points and, kind of half those numbers. But yeah, I mean, this is a game like Anthony Robinson was in foul trouble and they were able to kind of weather that too. That was another, I think, thing with the rotations. Like there's a lot of Trent Pearson, Jacob Cruz on the court together. That was a little bit tough. But yeah, when Caleb Grill isn't just shredding teams from 3 and then Robinson and Mitchell are out for whatever reason it is, you get some of those weird rotations. Thought Josh Gray was good in the first half, especially 2 points, 12 boards he finished with. I thought he was really strong, but yeah, Tamar was big. What did you think of the defense overall? I know Mississippi State's not great, and they've been trending down a lot. Josh Hubbard, 24 points, but he needed 22 shots to get there. Murphy, I thought, was hurting them, but only 73 points. I mean, given how much, I think it was like, I did the math, it was like 91 in the last 5 games on average. So to see that come down felt good, even if it is against a weaker Mississippi State team. Those shot 20% from 3. I thought the defense was better overall. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say it was better for sure. I mean, it wasn't flawless. I mean, there were still just some open shots. I know Jones for Mississippi State had a few open looks. But I mean, really, like Hubbard took 14 3-pointers, and the 3 makes were all, if I remember correctly, all 3 of his makes were pretty much like just Josh Hubbard.
Yeah,
like
his classic.
He couldn't do anything about. He also is. There is kind of a thing to be said about maybe a little too much fouling for Missouri. I will say Mississippi State does very good to draw fouls as well.
You should mention the hook and hold.
Yeah, the hook and hold.
Caleb Grill hook and hold
was kind of wasn't it?
Cruz.
Yeah. The Cruz hook and hold was kind of a rough one that didn't go their way, but I thought it was a step forward. I mean, they really did. I don't think like a lot of it, some of it is just Mississippi State missing open shots, but I don't think most of it was. This is the second time they've held Kugel without a make from the field.
Yeah.
They did that in game 1.
Cameron Matthews was kind of a non-factor.
Yeah, Melendez Melendez had a couple big plays, but most of them were like rebounds related. I mean, and Missouri didn't do that. I mean, they won on the glass. Like I know it did not feel like it, but they won on the glass, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that 14 of Mississippi State's 35 rebounds were O boards when Josh Gray was like out for a minute with I don't remember what happened to him. I think he might have rolled his ankle or something. But they didn't have Mitchell in the game for a while. They didn't have Gray in the game, so Mississippi State probably closed the gap there. But Missouri was pretty good on the glass for the most part. And again, I think a big thing was that Aiden Shaw, like you can say what you will about him as a player, he is such a good athlete that he can handle like the amount of switching they do. I thought he was a big factor in the fact that Josh Hubbard just never really truly like took over and like kind of went on a run on his own like he's capable of doing. I think a lot of that is Aiden Shaw. I thought he was great out there.
He's always been good at you can switch him on the smaller guards, and instead of just being a step too slow, like he kind of just eats guys with his length. Like he can contest threes, but I don't think he gets beaten off the dribble super easily, even by like a quick guy like Hubbard. So that's nice. And yeah, against like longer teams that rebound well, he is vital. And then honestly, like he's got the energy plays. Like when he throws down one of those dunks, like I think that was his only field goal was a dunk. And he, it fired everybody up in the second half there. So like, yeah, he was big. The Aiden Shaw, all aboard the Aiden Shaw hype bus, beep, beep,
bus, yeah.
Beep, beep. We're back in on Aiden Shaw. So yeah, that's exciting. But the headline here, recap aside, is now you look ahead Friday night when you're listening to this, Mizzou will play Florida in a rematch, and we'll see. At the time we're recording this, we don't have the game day update from the SEC for the availability report, but Mark Mitchell got hurt, only played only scored 7 points. They played 12 minutes. The question now becomes, if he is out at least for that game, does Mizzou even have a shot at a win over Florida?
I really don't like their chances with Mark Mitchell either. I think Florida's going to play pretty angry. They're going to be fresher than this Missouri team is.
I'm looking at I have the box score from last year pulled up too. I'll read some.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, there's even an argument to say, like, if Mark Mitchell can go, like, should he? I don't think Missouri needs a win too bad over Florida. It'd be nice. It'd be cool to go and win the SEC, but you kind of got to just weigh that risk reward. I don't expect to see Mark Mitchell personally. I kind of think they're better off without just not letting him play in this one. And if they don't have him, look, I don't like Missouri's chances either way. I like them even less without Mark Mitchell. I know in game one, like everyone's going to say, well, they're the only team that beat them in Gainesville. If Missouri played Florida 10 times in Gainesville, Florida probably wins 8 or 9 of those.
Yeah.
But I won't say it's impossible, but I am going to say it's pretty unlikely for Missouri in this.
Yeah, Florida, I don't know. It's more how I feel about Florida and less how I feel about Mizzou. I think you got to feel really good if this is a game Mizzou loses by anywhere from 6 to 8 points and you're in it the whole way. I don't know if it'll go. I don't think it'll go how the first Florida game did, where Missouri got up super big and then Florida kind of came back. Although that is how a lot of Florida's like close games have been like all season. They love to like give up a really big lead and then come back and try and just steal it. They did that against Georgia on the road toward the end of the year. But I think this will be a game Mizzou has to kind of compete throughout in. Last time out, Mitchell, by the way, did lead them in scoring. He was second on the team in scoring. I forgot about Caleb Grill. 15 points, 5-11 from the field, 8 rebounds in that game. Aiden Shaw did not play in that game. Teo Barrett did, though. Teo Barrett did not play last night. Wonder if you're talking difference makers. I don't know. What do you remember about that Florida game? Like, what do they have to recreate, or if they can do it even without Shaw?
Well,
without Mitchell. Excuse me.
It'd be pretty nice if Caleb Grill could nail like 7 threes or whatever he made in that game. I remember him going very ballistic. It'd be really nice if Missouri can bait their way to the line 100 times. But again, I don't see that. Also, Florida is healthier since the last time they've played. They got Handlogton.
Yeah, former future Missouri Tiger.
Yeah, he's back in the lineup. He's a board machine. Yep. Missouri's going to get brutalized on the boards in this game. I mean, there's just no way around it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a different type of game here because you're likely not going to have Mitchell. They have Handlogton now. It's tough for me to imagine a win. If a win to happen, you're going to have to get a similar Tamar Bates and Tony Perkins performance to what you did last night. I think Josh Gray is going to have to really stand on his head boards wise, like give you an effort like you got against Kansas from Josh Gray. Because I remember against Kansas, Josh Gray really kind of took over that game. He was really beating he was beating the crap out of Dickinson for a lot of boards. He's going to need to do something like that And Caleb Grill is just going to have to do something we haven't seen from him in a few weeks, and that's really kind of break a game again. And teams have completely committed to erasing Caleb Grill from a game. So you're just going to have kind of everything click for you.
Three of 14 in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Caleb Grill.
It's been a rough go. So
yeah, Florida's just, they're so balanced. I think the tough thing, it is going to have to be, I don't know if you can get brutalized on the boards and still find a way to win. Like, that's the thing. Florida can get so much in transition that way. They've got Alex Condon, who can just score. He's just such a versatile kind of big. He scores on a lot of like backdoor cuts to the rim, and those guards are so smart to like be able to find him, and Clayton and Elijah Martin. Elijah Martin can defend too. Ant's got to be better. You can't let him get into foul trouble again. 6 points in 14 minutes is not, you can't have that kind of game from him if you want to win this. Yeah, this will be tough. It would be, what does it do for Mizzou? I guess we could talk about that too, like, because there was a lot of craziness in college basketball yesterday. I mean, what does it do for Mizzou even seed wise? Because you mentioned like maybe not even it being worth it playing Mark Mitchell. Do you save him? I mean, what's the ceiling if, say, it's a Florida win and then you lose to whoever it is in the semifinals?
I mean, if you beat Florida, you're probably like locked in on a 5, I'd say, because I think Missouri's probably on a 6 or 7 right now. And I don't see them rising all the way up to a 4 without like winning the tournament, essentially. But yeah, I mean, a win over Florida would give you a 5 seed, but I mean, there's an argument to be made that you might want a 6 over the 5. Even. So, look, it's just going to be a rough go either way. Like if you do win this game, you might as well go and win the whole tournament at that point, because I think Florida is probably as tough a matchup as you can get right now, like second to only. Like it feels like obvious to say, but Florida is probably the only team other than Auburn.
And they're trending better than Auburn.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, right now,
yeah.
But I mean, there's an argument to be made about how much Auburn really was committed to winning those last 2 games in SEC play. I'm sure they wanted to.
They A&M won without Denver Jones.
But I would say, like, if you beat Florida, you're probably locked into a 5 at worst, and with room to go up to maybe a 4.
I know we're not big Lenardi guys. He did an update today. He has him as a 7.
Against who?
West Virginia in Cleveland. Winner gets Michigan State.
Michigan State's tough, but I mean, West Virginia, that's
beatable.
That's a beatable. That's kind of a fun matchup.
It's just the burning desire of not wanting to play at UC San Diego or Drake.
Yeah, I would rather see Missouri get a 6 or a 7, honestly, than a 5.
Yeah.
If you can get a 4, that'd be great, but I don't see that happening.
Who's like one maybe player watching from Florida and one for Mizzou who you're like difference maker either way that's going to kind of that could maybe break this game or like flip it if there is a guy like that?
I mean, probably just whoever's shadowing. Maybe, honestly, it maybe is Ant a bit, because you really, like, if Ant is staying out of foul trouble, he probably changes the way Clayton plays, just kind of their entire, back court. But I don't really like if I'm talking for Florida, maybe like Hawk or Condon, just one of those guys that isn't the star, but like is going to be pretty important to like making sure someone like Grill doesn't get going, or just making sure a second scorer doesn't emerge next to Tamar Bates or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'm almost tempted to say Gray. The last Florida game, the full Florida game I watched is when they played Alabama, and that was like such a big. They you're able to keep it close, but when you're taking the ball out of the net and giving up O boards, you can't match Florida in transition. And I think Mizzou can if it does get rebounds. I just don't know if Josh Gray can do it all by himself when Florida has Hauk and Handlagen and Condon and Chinyolu's the other one too. He's good. Like, so it's kind of one against an army a little bit. Like, you're going to have maybe for that reason, it is like an Ant playing better on the boards, or Tony Perkins Tony Perkins is such a weirdly good rebounder. He's 7 rebounds, second on the team.
He's tall. He's a big guard.
8 of 8 from the line too. 82% from the free throw line. That'll help win you a game. Yeah, that's maybe what I watch. Florida just misses all their free throws and only wins by 4. Yeah, this will be tough. It'll be at 6 p.m. on SEC Network, unless the game before it goes into double overtime again, and it doesn't tip until how late were they yesterday? They
Like
were 7.
almost.
Yeah, maybe like an hour. I was wondering how that. I was hoping someone would ask that, how that affects, when you're standing in that hallway waiting to go warm up, and you have to essentially like get warm.
Yeah.
Redo your kind of pre-game routine. But yeah, we'll see. This will be a tough one for Mizzou. I think yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, maybe you play with nothing to lose because your seeding isn't going to be negatively affected with a loss here. And a team playing with nothing to lose is dangerous because Florida has a lot to play for. Because Florida, I think, wants to get to that semifinal, presumably against Alabama, and play them again, beat them, and probably lock down that fourth 1 seed. So, sometimes there's nothing scarier than a team with nothing to lose. Any other takes? You have anything else from the Mississippi State game?
No,
the second evening of the SEC tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a very necessary win over a team that's going to the tournament, like a legit bona fide tournament team, not a bubble team like a Oklahoma or a Texas. Like, that's a team that's just firmly in. So getting one just before you get off to the big dance is, I think, a pretty good deal for them.
Yeah, I don't know how much better does this make you feel about Mizzou's first tournament game? It probably depends on who's
it still depends who they play. If they get a 6, I'll feel a bit more confident, but we got there's still a lot of moving parts with that. So
a lot of moving parts. Still a long way to go until selection. I'm trying to look where Mississippi State is, by the way. They have them on a 9 line.
9
against UConn.
Chris Jan's the king of the 8-9 games.
Yeah,
I guess
he loves them. So yeah, we'll have a recap. If Mizzou wins over Florida, we'll try and get something out as quick as can. We'll figure out some sort of post game thing. Otherwise, we will do probably just a post selection Sunday reaction if Mizzou does fall in Nashville. So we'll have coverage and enjoy it. We would have had it with Kenny if he would have accepted our invitation. Once again, that is the narrative. Do not let him tell you otherwise. Don't let him lie to you. Fine, unwritten rule. Viewers and listeners. But yeah, Mizzou beats Mississippi State 85-73. They will play Florida Friday night tonight when you're listening to this. And yeah, we'll see if they can pull another upset over the Gators. We'll finish out the rest of the show with Kenny with quick hits. Okay, quick hits time. We'll finish out the show in our newfound setup for the SEC tournament. We've got Jersey of the Week to start. Kenneth, what's your Jersey of the Week, and how does it feel once again to be solo all by yourself when me and Payton are in person?
Yeah, thanks for the invite to the SEC tournament. Didn't know you guys were going down there.
We're not letting you guilt trip us on this one.
I wasn't invited. I just kind of saw y'all's
like
locations.
12 times probably.
A couple of you turned your locations off, but I'm still in the group chats, guys. So I saw that. But thanks for the invite. My Jersey of the Week goes to Sophie Cunningham. I didn't realize what the WNBA schedule looks like, and this is on me. I thought she was like the biggest trade in one of the trades at the trade deadline. And then this week I saw that she got her jersey and like had a big, like, not ceremony, but she met the media, got her jersey, just kind of walked around Indianapolis, walked around the field house there. And I texted Payton and I was like, was she hurt? Like, why did it take so long to get to Indianapolis? And then he was like, she was a trade in the offseason. I know it doesn't align with the NBA. When was the WNBA finals? Like, I missed this, and this just kind of came at me out of nowhere. But the mayor, she's got new threads. We knew she was going to Indianapolis, but now we officially get to see it.
I think the finals were like a couple months ago by now.
Yeah, because the season's in the summertime.
Yeah,
so then it goes.
Yeah. So I don't know why. I thought maybe the season ended in like March.
They flip the NBA calendar. They do the opposite. So then it's like the NBA ends and then the WNBA finals are like in the fall, winter-ish, I think. So
I really like the Fever uniforms. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I think the colors are cool.
She slayed. Yeah. That's what they say. She slayed.
Did she? She slayed.
What was the quote she gave about being the Taylor Swift to
her was it Olivia Rodrigo or Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah. I like Kenny, the first picture, the F on the shorts. I would like some of those alternate short logos are so cool. And then like you go if you like want to buy a pair of the shorts, they're always like $80, and you're like, I'm not paying that much for not a jersey. Like, that's ridiculous.
I love the stripes on the neck and the
the
sleeves. They look sick.
It's got good aura. All right, there you go. Kenny is now, and I feel like I want to be a Fever fan, but it feels like bandwagoning with Caitlin Clark. But now that Sophie Cunningham's there, I feel like it's a good enough reason. I don't know.
Payton and I've been to Indianapolis a good amount of times, and so have you, Jax. I think it's fair to say we're Fever fans. We got the fever.
We got the fever.
I'm gonna have a WNBA summer. I'm gonna try and watch more WNBA. All right, Ron, what's your jersey?
My jersey of the week is going to be something that happened literally like 10 minutes after Kenny and I finished recording Monday's show. Nick Bolton, MIZ, the famed, but sometimes maligned by Chiefs fans linebacker, is re-signing. He has re-signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with the Chiefs. Take that, you haters.
I'm not a hater.
I know. I'm just pointing like in general, like to a crowd. This is perks of recording in person. But no, Nick Bolton, a lot of Chiefs fans were wondering if they'd even bother re-signing him. Apparently, he's not very good in pass coverage. I say take this, you non-believers.
I agree. I'm happy to see him re-sign in KC. I feel like the thing I keep hearing with the NFL is like with the way the like salary cap is now, the like guys are just re-signing instead of going other places. Like it's a lot more teams just have the money to bring these guys back. But it's nice to see him stay in KC. I mean, that sucks that is he really maligned that much?
There's a good amount of that fan base that does not like him as a player.
As a diehard Chiefs fan, I mean, there's no ill will.
St. Louis.
I think it would be crazy if Nick Bolton went to the Chargers one day, because that is a perfect name for just Los Angeles in general. Bolton.
Bolton.
I think it'd be a good one. And there's some connections. Larry Roundtree played for the Chargers at one point, bringing another true son.
I like it. Yeah.
There's already another true son right there in the same stadium, just different locker room.
That's true, Coach Ray.
Yeah, Cody. Mm-hmm.
We need to get an update on him this summer. My jersey of the week, I'm going to give it to DeAndre Golston because he posted the photo, but technically it'll be DeAndre Golston and Mohamed Diarra. They both took a photo. Dre posted it, said MIZ, Family for Life, and it's the two of them together, both with their respective international teams. I totally forgot to look up which teams they each play for, which is a bad internet research on my part, but very cool to see them reunite. And that they're kicking it in the pros overseas. Good for the both of them. This was a great picture. We quote tweeted it. Shout out Dre. He retweeted us. We said that we had the sad emoji. Missed those two in a Mizzou uniform.
I think it says a lot about that first Dennis team that like players that I personally like at the time didn't like as much. Like DeAndre Golston frustrated me. Mo Diarra frustrated me. But like nowadays, I'm like, I really miss DeAndre Golston and Mo Diarra.
This team year could use a DeAndre Golston,
and
a Mo Diarra at times.
Like that's just that says a lot about that team. Just cool to see these two. French league, right? That's what you said.
I forgot to look it up.
I think it's French league, but I don't know the teams either. But cool to see them playing overseas.
I'm trying to find DeAndre Golston tweeted about being from Dallas in the Luka trade. Trying to see if I can find it. It was actually pretty funny. Let's see.
Oh, I thought it was Gary, Indiana. Also, I like talking jerseys. I like DeAndre Golston's.
Maybe he just retweeted it. I saw something about it. I guess he just retweeted someone saying like, as a diehard Mavericks fan, they should have never done this trade. I love how there's a Burger King logo on DeAndre Golston's uniform, even if I have no idea what the rest of the jersey is saying. I know that hamburger logo, and it's calling my name. Even during Lent right now, I'm feeling like I might sin.
There you go.
Go get some chicken fingers.
Yeah,
right?
I can't do that. That is one thing with like, I know they do this in soccer a lot, like smaller European and especially South American teams. Like it's just sponsors everywhere. Like I knew teams that like on the shorts, on the front of the shorts, like where Sophie Cunningham's F was for the Fever, it was just two McDonald's logos. Like both pant legs was just the McDonald's logo, and it looked ridiculous. So you get that sometimes. But shout out to DeAndre Golston. Shout out to Mohamed Diarra.
I got Lay Portel is who DeAndre Golston plays for. Man, it can't really Limoges is who Mohammed plays for. Lemohis.
You butchered that one.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
glad
don't know.
you made the effort because there's no
It's
way.
probably like Les Mouchoirs.
So this is really cool. I think we've used this. I've used this website before to look at players from Mizzou that have been drafted, but it's basketballeurobasket.com, and you can subscribe to it and get like more data. But there's a lot of data on DeAndre Golston on this website. It's pretty cool.
Go. DeAndre's stat stuffer, advanced stat stuffer. Subscribe to Eurobasket. It's probably like $95 a month too. It's probably so just for deep data on the French league.
I'll figure it out right now. We got time.
All right,
DeAndre Golston. Okay, subscribe. Oh wow, you could do 58 cents per day. Best deal.
That's about
if that's for a year subscription, so you'd pay 58 cents per day. 3-month subscription is 97 cents per day. 1 month is $1.52 per day, and a 2-day subscription is just $9.50. So it comes out to $211. You're saving $353 if you want to do the 1 year.
It's made for euro.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
No, it's in USD. It's in USD. You pay in US dollar. You pay.
I know, but the conversion rate is probably from euros to.
I meant more like it's just why are we per day?
Yeah, and if you just needed the stats for just one article.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, there you go. There's your Eurobasket.
I like no cap, and he's the main bird.
I'm next to Shawnee's main bird of the week. Kenny.
Vinny P has been kind of bouncing around on my quick hits this week. Was trying to find a good spot for him. I found the bird connection for him. Vinny Pasquantino, of course, first baseman for the Kansas City Royals. He played for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the Cape Cod League, and that is my team, the Cape Cod League. I have Hyannis Harbor Hawks gear. When I would go to Hyannis, not trying to brag, spend some time in Cape Cod. I would stay in Hyannis. I was a Hyannis Harbor Hawks fan. We went to a game once. We saw Kevin Biggio. He was still at Notre Dame at the time. I was just entering high school. He went to the same high school as me. So both EFND, Eagle Fight Never Dies, going to see a brother here this afternoon in the St. Louis area. Back to my main bird, though. Vinny P tweeted this: Justin Fields to the Jets. Sources, me, 3 question marks. 2 years, 35 million, 3 question marks. Okay, going to the cages, start my day. I think if you have an opportunity to get Vinny P on your podcast, anyone, part of my take, I spend a lot of my time listening to those guys. Get Vinny P on a podcast. I've seen him on I think it was Rich Eisen show once. The guy's a character. I don't know how he does it sometimes with some of these tweets, but he's an NFL insider now. And I think I just think he's awesome.
We should get him on.
I wonder.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll be our, what is it? White goat.
White whale.
White whale.
White goat. This is the guy that went to Cape Cod, by the way.
Yeah.
I wonder who his source would be on this.
He's a Jets fan.
But how did he actually get this tweeted before?
Yeah, he tweeted before anyone else.
That's pretty crazy. I wonder who's feeding him that info. But
it blew up. Brett Norfleet enjoyer, he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Vinny P. Let's get him on the show for Kenny. Payton, your main bird.
My main bird of the week is going to be good old Ant Robinson. He was named to Seth Davis's all glue team. We're big fans of glue guys. If you're looking for a bird connection, by the way, Dylan Cardwell of Auburn is also on this team. War Eagle. That's a bird.
God.
So Ankle Bully Ant, he's on the all glue team. This is a thing that I think Seth Davis has done for a good number of years. I haven't read the story, but Seth, you're
killing me. You're killing me.
Thanks, Payton.
You're killing me.
Listen, it just reminded me of the good old days where we had guys like Javon Pickett, the ultimate glue guy, not being named to this team. It's good to see someone from Mizzou finally get awarded with the glue award.
All right, Payton, college mascots. What is a college mascot at Cal State Northridge?
The Matadors.
All right, that is not a bird.
He did it with
Dylan Cardwell.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a better one. Ventura College mascot.
I have no idea what Ventura College is.
Pirates. Okay, well, they have a bird that sits on their shoulder. You could have gone with that one. His mother played junior college basketball at Ventura College.
There we go. I think mine was good too.
I don't think yours was good at all, actually.
Dylan Cardwell is on the same team as
Are
him.
we a Dylan Cardwell podcast? Is that our...
No, but we talk about SEC basketball sometimes.
Sometimes. We sometimes do. All right.
Shout out Denzel Clark real quick, number 6 prospect for the Oakland A's. He went to Cal State, whatever I said.
Northridge?
Yeah, he went to Cal State Northridge.
Good God, this is off the
Thank you
rails.
for that, Kenny. All right, my main bird of the week is Kansas. They're the Jayhawks. There's a bird connection, an easy, obvious one there, and I'm actually talking about Kansas.
Mine had 2 steps. All right, it was not that hard to follow.
It's not even their actual mascot. War Eagle is.
They
dumb.
scream War Eagle. What is
Why?
an eagle? What's an eagle?
But
What's
why-
an eagle?
their mascot-
What's an eagle?
Their mascot
What is an eagle?
It's dumb.
What do they scream and what is an eagle?
It's dumb that they scream it. I'm giving it to Kansas. Kansas lost in the Big 12 tournament to Arizona last night, or I guess, last night, Thursday evening. But fear not, because the state of Kansas still has some representation in the form of 3 Mizzou players, being Mark Mitchell, Caleb Grill, and Tamar Bates, still in a conference tournament, because, of course, Mizzou beat Mississippi State, which you just heard me and Payton recap. This is pretty cool. Represent Mizzou posted this. It was from a Sports in Kansas Facebook post, just kind of talking about those guys being from Kansas and what they accomplished in high school and now representing the state because KU stinks and they lost to Arizona.
The best players from Kansas play in Missouri.
There you go. That was what I was going to add that too, because, we got so much crap for like DeJuan Harris for years. And now, Missouri's taking Kansas's best exports and putting them in the end.
It's DeJuan Harris.
It's not.
I thought it was.
Not,
They said
it's
DeJuan
definitely
in the
not.
broadcast. Oh, no, I'm thinking of DeJuan
Gordon. The Final Four in the Big 12 tournament. This kind of shows you conference realignment. BYU, Houston, Texas Tech, and Arizona. These games are played in Kansas City.
Yep.
They're just not going to. I feel like the stadium's not going to be as full anymore with Kansas out. Was my first thought. And then I heard this on the radio this morning. I was listening to our friend Connor McGovern saying his goodbye on Sports Talk 790 in Houston. Only 3/4 of this fan base drinks alcohol, and that is a big thing at sporting events. And so if BYU wins this game and the next one, alcohol sales might go down.
Oh yeah,
at the Sprint Center.
Not very long lines at the beer tent in the Sprint Center.
It's a T-Mobile Center now. Guys.
T-Mobile Center.
Sorry, T-Mobile bought it. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
My main issue with the Big 12 tournament, that is a good point, Kenny, that 3 of the 4 are newcomers in the last, couple of years. The court. What do you guys think about the court?
It looks awful.
It's bad.
Terrible. I don't know why they did all that gray, the white lettering. It's not a good look.
I've described it as it looks like I'm watching a basketball game through a screen door.
I mean, that's a decent comp.
That's what I thought.
It looks like the Nets floor to me.
A little bit.
Brooklyn
yeah.
Nets.
Gray.
Yeah.
I've also seen there's a big debate about if the Big 12 tournament should stay in Kansas City. Where else would you put it? Vegas makes zero sense.
But it's
Dallas.
It makes
Dallas
makes more sense than Vegas, but I still kind of feel like Kansas City's probably
Oklahoma City.
It's a basketball town.
Kansas City's a basketball town. Like even people that don't have rooting interest go to those games.
Yeah,
they have the Hall of Fame attached to it, like the
College Basketball Hall of Fame.
The College Basketball Hall of Fame. It's where it's going to be. I don't think you need Kansas to win games, and that's what keep it alive there. I'm sure they'll think about maybe moving it one day, but it's just always been there. It's a staple of the Big 12.
Is the Big 12 better when Kansas is good?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I hate to admit it, but it absolutely is.
I just don't like those arguments. I hate insert X league is better. I've had long debates about that.
What are you watching Big 12 basketball for before this year in particular? Even now, you at least have Arizona, BYU, Houston are interesting teams to watch.
BYU's scary. BYU's gonna be scary in the NCAA tournament.
But the league is absolutely way more box office when Kansas is good. I mean, there's no way around that. I hate to admit it, but that's kind of the truth.
Well, their best players play in Missouri.
Their best players do play in Missouri. That's kind of where we need to get back.
They're my main birds. All right. Best thing you learned.
Best thing I learned this week. Lots of awards given out this past week. All SEC honors in particular. Mark Mitchell was named All SEC second team by the AP poll. He was named All SEC third team by just the league itself.
Coaches.
Yeah, the coaches. Anthony Robinson was all SEC defensive team, definitely deserved there. And Caleb Grill was 6th man of the year. No debate there, although Florida fans would like for you to believe it was a debate. It was not a debate.
No. Who were they saying?
Hawk.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
But look, I'm a big fan of Hawk. I think Florida's a great team, but Caleb Grill broke games on his own this year. I don't have much issue with any of these lists. It's a shame Tamar Bates kind of trailed off at the end of the year because I think he had a good argument to be on maybe a 3rd team spot throughout the year. But I think Mizzou is pretty fairly represented on these teams for the most part. I don't think I'd argue anything.
Dennis Gates mentioned on the broadcast, you guys wouldn't know this because you were at the SEC tournament and didn't invite me. He mentioned how Tamara's been playing kind of with a chip on his shoulder, going into this game on Thursday and just the rest of the tournament because he felt left out. It's a big fuel thing. It just really plays into the shushing stuff and the not letting it distract you, let it fuel you at the same time. But I thought you guys would like to know that since you didn't get to see it on the TV because that's how I had to watch it.
Yeah, we were in person, which we would have had a lot more fun if you were there, but you declined our invite.
We made overtures over and over. We double and triple checked.
I think he said, what were his words? I think, I'm too good for you guys.
Yeah, I moved. I just moved in with my friend Aaron. I can't go, guys.
I prefer the company of our friend Aaron instead of.
You guys still talking?
Yeah, kind of bozo. What's your best thing you learned?
Best thing I learned this week, former true son, or I guess you can't ever be a former true son, maybe unless you're Trevor Brazil. But former Missouri offensive lineman and former Bears offensive tackle Larry Borum signed with the Dolphins at the beginning of free agency. There were a lot of videos going around. I was trying to find a video or just kind of post that was positive about Larry. And it was a lot of just him playing left tackle. And he got really just beat up at left tackle a lot. So I just went with this tweet. But I saw some people saying, he might fit just better at the right tackle position if the Dolphins can swing that. But it also is crazy to see veteran Larry Borum because in my mind, he's in year 2 in the NFL. Just that's how old I think he is. But he got out of his rookie deal and on to Miami.
We were in a Chili's when he was drafted. If we have any Dolphins fans watching this for some reason, I think a good way to sum up Larry Borum is just that top reply. Austin Green on X, the Everything app, asking Bears fans how is he, and having 50 replies, 0 quote or retweets, and 0 likes. He is not mid. JT Charles is wrong. Unfortunately, Larry Borum is among the worst offensive linemen I've ever watched in my life.
Oh, yeah, that is the unfortunate thing when a Mizzou guy goes on your favorite team. It stinks.
Hopefully the Bears redeem themselves with like Armand Bamboo or something. But Larry Borum was not it.
Tough. Well, hopefully maybe he can resurrect something with the Dolphins.
Do you think he and Javon Foster will hang out in Orlando, maybe on some bye weeks, go to Disney World?
I wonder how much overlap those two had. It was only a couple of years, so I wonder how much they know each other.
Yeah. Well, congrats to Larry Borum. See how he does. My best thing I learned this week, I'm going very boring. It's just college basketball being awesome. Obviously Mizzou winning was great on Thursday. There were so many good games all day Thursday at the SEC tournament, which we are at, and Kenny isn't because Kenny refused our invitations to go.
Mm-hmm.
We had Ole Miss Arkansas was basically a buzzer beater for Ole Miss to win the game. Why am I blanking? What was the game after?
It was Texas A&M.
Texas A&M went to double overtime. Mizzou Mississippi State was the worst game of the day, and that was pretty good. And then the last game of the night, which tipped off super late, Kentucky and Oklahoma, we left the venue because Kentucky was up 12 with 5 minutes left. And then we get back to our hotel and it's a 3-point game with 30 seconds left. And we turned it on just in time to see the Otega-Oweh buzzer beater. So we were idiots for that. But it was just an awesome slate. There were other good games. I know Baylor, Texas Tech was close. I think Marquette beat Xavier by 2. There was just a ton of good games yesterday. I love college basketball. I know the two of you guys also love college basketball. BYU Iowa State was a classic.
Louisville Stanford
was a crazy buzzer beater from Hepburn. there were just so many good games, and I love this is the best time of year ever. And yeah, I was enjoying soaking it all in. Would have enjoyed it a lot more if Kenny had accepted our invite to this.
It would have been great if Kenny was there. But sat down for like 12 hours. Literally, I was like sitting in Bridgestone for 12 hours watching college basketball. I would 100% do it all over again. It was quite the day.
It's a good time.
Does Marquette play? This is just off topic. Does Marquette play in the NBA arena? Why?
Because they are too cheap to build their own stadium.
Oh, okay.
Or they're too marquee to not have to play. What the heck?
I think he's played a fart emoji.
Yeah, it was an emoji. It was a sound effect. I was kind of playing it louder and louder while you were talking. You were talking about college basketball and leaving me left out. So I was pretty upset about it, and I was playing the noise.
Well, we didn't leave you out of anything.
Yeah,
we invited you several times. Once again, let the record show.
Yeah.
We made sure even to follow up with you.
Yep. Could have been all three of us in person. We could have had an in-person show back again. Think about the people. Kenny really wasn't keeping the viewers in mind, because if you would have come,
we could have done it all in person.
We could have rented out like a honky tonk, done a live show up there. We could have gone all in.
Don't call it a honky tonk.
Why?
Well, I got to spend my day yesterday. Beautiful St. Louis, great town.
Kenny is
still trying to meet this Lewis guy, but I've been all around. I got some fun stories that maybe I'll drop on you guys here and there. I got some from Jeremy Macklin yesterday. Some stuff I can share that is pretty fun. So I'll just drop those on you whenever it's appropriate.
Story time with Kenny? Kenny is doing the Lord's work with the recruiting, which is going to get very real for us after March Madness is over. Hopefully, it's a long run for Mizzou. But there you go. Payton, did you pull up a joke?
I did. It's not from our favorite TV series, The Today Show. It's from our favorite website, countryliving.com. Guys,
Southern Living.
How did the telephone propose to his girlfriend?
I can't see it.
Pretty
with a ring?
Called her.
Yes, Kenny. He gave her a ring.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, that'll do it. Payton and I. Oh, look at that. We're both solo screen. All right, now I'll get solo screen here. Let me get in the middle. We'll have if Mizzou beats Florida. You're obviously listening to this on Friday afternoon. If Mizzou beats Florida, Payton and I will recap that. We'll do something. If they lose, we will have a show on Monday like normal and go from there. Look toward the NCAA tournament, talk selection Sunday, obviously, because that'll drop before we record as well. So yeah, plenty of fun basketball stuff to dive into. Hope you guys enjoyed. And hopefully we can do some more in-person shows, because that means Mizzou's winning. Oh, look at Kenny's trolling me. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. See you later.